So I was that annoying individual in the family that was always shooting people.
Eddie, I must say, has taken me by surprise. He's so humble, so friendly, so accepting, extremely articulate. He comes across like a human being with a camera. He's not trying to be robotic about it. He's not trying to be, he doesn't exaggerate, he doesn't overdo it. It's literally a calming environment where he makes you laugh and makes you feel very, very comfortable. So I would highly, highly, highly recommend him.
I've been a photographer, and I must stress, I'm still learning, for the past 16 years. And it was born out of a friend, Rebecca Shortenall, and she had a DSLR, took some photos of my son who was just born. And from that point, it really inspired me to pick up the camera and start taking shots. So I was that annoying individual in the family that was always shooting people when they didn't want to be taken photos of. And it developed from there. I'm influenced by a few individuals in the photography game. One of my biggest influences is an individual called James Barner, an uncle, a Ghanaian, one of the original individuals to develop colour photography out of Ghana. He was Kwame Nkrumah's, should I say, most trusted photographer. When I look at his work, capturing black people in their essence, beautiful individuals, and colour grading, the way in which he magnifies our culture, that's extremely inspiring to me. Another influencer is an individual called Edward KB is his Instagram name. Left the country, UK that is, and resided in Asia. Incredible photographer, and I've always been inspired by his work. For me, levels of photography, there are many different levels, and his work in how he captures people and the emotion is where I aspire to take my craft. I am still figuring out my style. I take all sorts of shots, I capture all sorts of people. If people were to kind of look at my work and think, what does Eddie bring to the table? I would hope to think it's emotion. I focus on the eyes. I'm a big believer in a picture tells many stories. I'm being very fortunate that the people that have trusted me to take photos of them at events, portraits, weddings, christenings, birthday parties, they see their emotion in my work, and that's important to me. I have two favourite photographs. There's a photo of each of my sons that are my favourites. Again, I focus on the eyes. In my opinion, they have the most beautiful eyes. So I would say that would be my favourite. But every photo evokes a different emotion. And your favourites, from my perspective, change based on where I am in life. I have a favourite, which is a picture I took in Kumasi, Ghana. It's my dad's home in Asafo. It's of one of my uncles, and it's a very natural photo. There was no smile, just raw emotion, and in this particular shot you see his complexion, and it's dark and it's rich, and it's, for me, everything. I've also taken some really good photos of my mum and dad. My dad's passed away. There's a photo that I took at my mum and dad's anniversary. My mum's really happy, my dad's very proud, and he's wearing his Ashanti cloth. My mum's wearing a matching cloth. I've come from them, and that, as an Ashanti man, is very special, and I'm very proud to have been able to capture my parents in their best light, because again, these are all for archive purposes, and it's important for my ancestors, my children, and children's children, to be able to reflect back and see the elders in the family.
How do you make the client feel comfortable in front of a camera?
When a person approaches me wanting to take photos, it can be a nerve-wracking situation to put yourself into. I do crack jokes, I do think I'm funny. I'm quick, because I think the longer you take in capturing that image, the longer that person has to think about things, and therefore it brings anxiety or whatever it may be. So I'm very focused on engaging appropriately, making them feel very comfortable. If you know the story and the backstory, it's easier to then portray or convey the emotion through the lens.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very much like, if I don't have direction, I'm not going to know what on earth I'm doing. Yeah.
Even if your eyes were shut completely.
It would have been better.
I would say my main challenges is working with light. I love natural light, so therefore the shoots are typically dependent upon the available light. I typically shoot on weekends and spend that time in the day shooting. The weather is always an important element to taking that natural feel.
Where would you like to see your business in 5 years' time?
Photography is an expression. My core job is one of leadership, selling. I'm an active mentor. I like inspiring individuals, and I feel that for me, if I'm able to inspire people, there's so much to learn in photography, and I'm nowhere even close to the end of my journey. But if I was to look at what I'd like to impart onto people getting into the space, for me, it's always been a passion and a hobby. And I like it to remain that way. That comes first because it's an expression. For me, it's important that people look at whatever passion they have and excel in it. Because if I was to turn back the clock, and again, my family are one of academics, and as such, if I was to have ever told my mum and dad I wanted to be a photographer at the age of 18, 19, it would have been a no-no. So I followed a totally different path, but I've been very fortunate to be in a space which allows for me to have flexibility to at least express myself through photography, capturing incredible people along the way in so many different scenarios. So that's me.